am TheeLennyLopez, alongside with Triston Andrews, Justin, Riley Adams. What's your last name?
Let's restart. My last name is Buche.
No, I like that. It's charming.
I already said restart.
Yeah, okay.
We got restart.
All right, let's restart.
He's gonna kind of edit this.
It'll make me very sad if you leave that in. I don't want.
That's charming, bro.
Dude, no, you're famous. You're like Beyonce. One name.
I'm not famous.
Say the initials. JB.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm TheeLennyLopez, alongside with Triston Andrews, Justin Buche, and Riley Adams. Today, we are going to put in our predictions for the election coming up November 3rd, 2020. We don't judge here. We don't care who we vote for. This is America. We have our free will. Doesn't matter if Republican, Democrat, in the middle. Who cares? Whoever wins, best woman, best man wins. Who cares? So, let's put in our predictions right now. Triston, who do you believe that will win the general election?
Donald Trump.
All right.
100%.
I'm pretty sure you have like 40,000 people out there right now crying.
Right.
Mr. Buche, who do you pick for the general election?
This may come as a shock to some of you, but I hope and I believe that Joe Biden wins this election.
All right. Mr. Joseph Biden. Mr. Addams, who do you say will win the general election?
I think that no matter who wins, love will always win.
Okay.
So, you said Mr. Trump. Why Mr. Trump, Triston? Like, why? Because, is he a charming man? Does he know how to speak? What is it?
Merely based off of the fact that he has kept his promises throughout these past 4 years. He's building the wall. He has done amazing things for Black unemployment, Hispanic unemployment. There are whole things, Blacks for Trump, Latinos for Trump. His support has just grown the past 4 years. And it's because he's doing what he says. If you just look at his rallies of, hundreds of thousands of people show up. And then you look at Joe Biden's rallies, he's got 13 people in these circles that are 6 feet apart. You know what I'm saying? There's no people lining up to go to his rallies. There's nothing, And I wish people would. I wish it looked a little, more like there was a competition, you know what I'm saying? But when there's 13 people showing up to your rallies and Joe Biden keeps on messing up his words. He almost called Trump George Bush the other day.
He's gonna call Kamala like Barack Obama.
Exactly. Yeah. I think he couldn't remember Barack's name one time too. He said "my boss."
That might have been.
Said my boss.
That might have been a joke.
No.
I think he was fucking.
He said when I was working for my boss.
That's pretty funny.
No, what you said about the rallies, though, I think that some of the reason why Joe Biden's rallies might not have the attendance that Trump's are, and I just want to say, I don't really agree with Biden on everything. I just don't think another 4 years of Donald Trump is good for the country.
That's what I've been saying. Like a lot of it's like this election to
But
me
why
is not
though,
about for me it's not about whose policies I agree with, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah,
it's about devices.
this election is a sham.
Wait,
this is a joke.
No, this election
It's
is
a clown
about,
show.
This election for me
It is a
You're
clown
right.
show.
It is. Yeah, for Joe Biden. Look at him. Okay, listen. Okay, his son has pictures out right now of his cock out, of him smoking crack, and also of him fucking his 14-year-old niece.
You're joking.
No. He gets a foot job from her, calls her Natty. You can look this up, gnews.org. He calls her Natty, which is Natalie Biden, which was Beau Biden's daughter. Beau Biden was Joe Biden's other son that died.
That's the brain tumor guy, right?
Yeah, he died. And so he calls her Natty, and then if you listen to her voice...
I have to verify this.
Okay, I'll show you the video, dude. It's disgusting, but he calls her Natty, and then when you listen to her voice in the video, the prostitute, and then you listen to the voice of Natalie Biden speaking in other interviews, it's uncanny, bro. It's one of the most disgusting things ever, And they even said that the worst isn't even out. The worst isn't even out right now. The guy that's releasing it, his name's like Lewd Media on Gab, because he can't put it on Twitter or anything like that, so he's putting all the links onto Gab, and they're posting it on the G News.
They're posting the video of him doing this?
Yeah. Well, it's all blurred out. It's like the dick is blurred out and the girl's face is blurred out because they don't want to show, child porn.
This is Hunter Biden, correct?
This is Hunter Biden, and this is
How long ago was the
all
video?
of his pictures.
They're claiming
It was
the
in
allegations.
2018. They all have timestamps, and they all have where they were because it was on a map. So it shows where they were. It shows the time. Also, if you look at the Tony Bobulinski interview that Tucker Carlson just had, Tony Bobulinski was the guy that was in the China business dealings with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden.
Okay, I must interject.
One question.
Mhm.
This guy's name is Tony Bobulinski.
Okay. I must interject. What you're saying is they're pretty damning allegations, but you have to understand, a lot of allegations have been made against Trump that turned out not to be true. So before the truth comes out, I would like to get back to my original point about the rallies. The reason I believe Joe Biden's rallies might not have as much attendance as Trump is because the people who are going to be voting for Joe Biden are mostly Democrats, and they care more about social distancing and the pandemic and stuff than the Trump supporters do.
Mhm.
So I think that might be a reason why Trump's rallies are so much bigger. And I don't think that's a very reliable way to gauge
You
whether
really
the country
think-
is going to vote
you
for
really
Donald
think-
Trump for another 4 years.
You really think that 150,000 people showing up to Trump's rally?
It's not that many people.
It's close to
300
it.
million.
Donald Trump killed more with the coronavirus.
Seriously.
It's-
You guys say that? You say that isn't a lot of people for the coronavirus.
Okay, but still, that is a shit ton of people for a political rally, and especially when they're showing up 2 days
Okay,
in
you don't
advance.
think if Biden went to like New York or
Wait,
Los
but
Angeles?
at Biden's things, he's social distancing.
I know,
He
but
has
if there
chairs.
wasn't a pandemic during this election, let's say the pandemic was a non-factor.
Yeah, so
Uh-huh.
you're trying to judge this as if these were normal circumstances under which, like, the whole backbone of this guy's campaign is that he cares more about the pandemic than Trump does. So it would make sense he'd have more digital rallies and shit like that.
He doesn't have digital.
No, I'm
rallies,
just
so-
saying, like, that would be a good idea. I should be on the campaign team. But, like, what I'm saying is, like, it would make sense that less people would show up because Democrats, on average, are more concerned with, like, the pandemic than Republicans generally would be. So, like, if this were a normal election and he had 13 people showing up in bubbles to his rallies, like, that would just be weird. You know what I mean?
I understand that, but you also need to look at Trump won last year. Okay, his support has not gone down; it has only gone up. Joe Biden, it is proven now with Tony. You can't say that like, oh, it's allegations that aren't proven yet. Tony Bobulinski brought texts, brought files of them all doing the business deals for Burisma in China. Okay, he has the documents and he's released them. You know,
To public?
Yes, to the public. You can look them up. You can you can look
Until
them
I
up.
see them.
Okay. Look up the Bobulinski interview. Seriously,
what
he
is
shows the documents. It shows the documents on there, and it shows exactly how much Joe Biden had to do with illegal dealings in China.
I actually saw these.
Well, doesn't Trump have illegal dealings in China?
No.
Didn't his tax return say he's like a Chinese
Do you
bank
think Trump
account?
has
Yes,
anything
every
bad?
single.
Do you think
no,
Trump,
listen,
you don't think
listen.
Trump has ever bended the law in his
Listen.
business dealings?
No, because
Oh,
no.
he's a Boy
listen,
Scout.
No, listen.
Donald Trump.
Okay, every single businessman, especially a with a multinational business, is going to have a bank account in other countries so that they can do business there. Okay,
So they can be
But-
exempt from taxes.
Joe
You gotta
Biden-
play dirty. You gotta
but
play
Joe-
dirty to get to the
no,
top.
but Joe Biden is a
Sure,
politician. Joe Biden's a politician. Okay, and he's working. No, he made money off of China, and as well as when in Ukraine, he said this is on tape. He said if you are he
You're not
bragged
voting for me,
about
you're
it.
not black.
No, exactly. There's another thing.
Oh, no, I didn't
There's
bring
another
that
thing.
up.
All of Joe
I was
Biden's
fucking
racist
around.
comments. Joe Biden has made insanely racist, more racist than Trump has ever
I
said.
just want you to say, like, don't you think it'd be funny if, like, they made a movie with, like, Talladega Nights about Tony Bobulinski? It'd be a funny ass movie. Just entitled.
Coffee almost here.
I don't know. Check.
We ordered coffee before we started.
Anything regarding coffee, you can just cut it out.
No,
Okay,
the coffee in.
I completely understand what you're saying with Joe Biden's rallies and how only a tiny bit of people showing up is because of the pandemic, but that also shows how much they really don't care about his rallies because
Or
They care
maybe
about
they
the
care
fun
more
of
about
living.
public health more.
they care about
Than his
a
rallies.
virus that
And
has
they-
a 99.9% survival rate.
But they don't believe that. They're being
The
what these people
CDC
believe.
says it. Of course they don't believe
half
it
of these
because,
people,
because
half of
they're
these people don't like read the statistics. They're
exactly
Most people don't read
exactly.
statistics.
They
Most
don't
people-
read the statistics.
I'm not saying I
Most
agree with that. I'm
conservatives
saying
don't read the statistics
what I'm
either.
saying is I think that is what you're saying. The reason why you think Trump is going to win, that's not an accurate way to gauge, because I think that a lot of people are going to vote for Biden.
Did you see the map by county of when Trump won?
Of
Not
2016?
not by the states, but by the counties.
I think it's much different circumstances in 2016.
I don't. He has not lost support.
Do you
Joe
think,
Biden.
you think the
when
country
Hunter-
is in the same state that it was when 2016?
No, absolutely not. But I don't believe that everything is Trump's fault. You can't just blame all the
I don't
bad
either.
things that
I don't-
happen
I don't
in our
either
country.
That's not what he's saying.
Trump-
What,
okay,
what,
listen,
what I
listen.
think he's saying
No,
is that
listen.
they're taking different approaches to their campaigns because the circumstances have changed. Like, okay, as far as who the candidates are, that has not changed. The Democrats are once again just throwing out some big name old ass geezer to like try and win,
Yeah.
over like just to get Bernie Sanders like swept under the rug. I agree with all that. But as far as like socially and culturally, I think shit has changed a lot, and they're both trying to appeal
It
to
has.
the bases of those two different variables.
No. It's not even the basis, because if Trump was just trying to go with his with the Republican base, he would do shit. He wouldn't have done what he did. He wouldn't have given HCBUs, historic black colleges and universities, 10 years of funding. They used to have to go every single year, even under Obama. They had to go every single year and ask for funding, and Trump said, screw that. I'm going to give you guys 10 years of funding. The whole time I'm president, and when the next president goes in, you guys will have funding. He also created lowest black unemployment and lowest Hispanic unemployment in history, in all of history.
Okay, yes, this is true, but you have to understand the cultural feeling about Donald Trump in these communities is not a positive one.
Yeah, dude. Yes, it is. Dude. If you have you looked at interviews of people when people go to the hood, when people will go. Okay. People listen.
Going into the hood,
Listen,
losing Trump.
listen.
I saw those like 2015. I thought they were like.
Listen, people.
The prank video.
Yeah.
There was a thing where they did interviews of college liberals, right? And
You
they
seen
said,
Joey Salad's
listen,
Trump car in the hood, Frank?
listen. They said they did interviews with people, and they went to college people, and they were like, hey, what do you think about defunding the police? And they were like, oh, we have to do it. Oh, man, black people are being killed by the police every single day. All police are racist, But no, it's not true. So,
No, a lot of people are saying, like, fuck 12, fuck the cops and everything like that. Every time when I, go down here,
Seriously.
I ask my friends, like, what do you think about defunding the police and shit like that? They say, yeah, fuck the cops, the racist pieces of shit, pigs.
Coming straight from the
whatever.
underground, man. Got it back his umbrella.
But the thing
my
is,
friend's father is a cop, and he's not a pretty bad guy.
yeah, right,
He's not
yeah.
a pretty bad guy.
My Lauren's my fiance's father's an ex-cop, and he's the nicest guy ever. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't hate anybody based off of their race, and you can't just say all police hate black people, because it's simply not true. There are black cops, there are Mexican cops,
Yes.
there are Asian cops.
Asian, Filipino,
Okay, it's not all cops.
every race.
All
can be
cops
I've
aren't
never seen a
white.
Filipino cop. Too strong.
In LA, I think the high they have more Latino cops than any other race.
Yeah, LAPD has more minority, black, cops. I
Exactly,
only see like a
yeah.
few white cops in the LAPD.
Seen any more?
But if you're seeing any more white cops, let me know.
Comment down if you've seen a white
Yeah.
guy.
but back to what I was saying is like
Cut that
they
part,
went
like I said.
they went to
Cut this.
the
Hey, you cut this. Cut this part.
they went to what's it called? They went to like lower communities, and they were like, "Do you guys want to defund the police?" And they were like, "No." They were like, "There are gangs here. There are people taking over our street." There was this one lady that was like, "Please come put the military on our street because it's getting so bad with the crime. Whenever you defund the police, all that happens is crime goes way up." I went to Venice Beach, okay, and I went there like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It was nice. It was nice. Yeah, there were a couple, people doing drugs here and there or whatever, smoking weed or whatever. There weren't meth addicts. There weren't meth addicts. There weren't heroin addicts 4 years ago. There were people. The streets were packed. People had their stores open and everything like that. You go there today, okay? No police for miles.
Really?
There's junkies everywhere. There's that we saw a person inject heroin into his stomach.
If only
We
there
saw
was
people-
somebody while the stores were closed.
Yeah. They closed because all of the police departments will do this. They'll bus homeless people from Skid Row, bring them down to Venice Beach, and just put them in Venice
So
Beach.
why do they hate Venice Beach?
Venice Beach.
No,
is
no,
already
because
pretty bad.
the police is defunded in LA. In LA County, the police is defunded, and so they don't. Dude, if you go to Venice Beach, you will not see a cop car for miles. We didn't see one until we got, I think, like halfway to Corona. It was when we saw the first police car. And then, I'm telling you, man, there were people doing heroin, people doing crack, people doing meth, people, like all the stores were shut down.
So you want
windows were boarded up.
Do you want just a higher police presence in areas like this, or do you want a higher police presence overall?
No, I want these people to make the right choices. I don't want. Of course, I don't want a police presence or military all over the street. Of course, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I don't want people to be. I want LA to actually care about their tourism, and I want and I want California as a whole to care about their people, rather than just saying, "Oh, you're a homeless drug addict. We're gonna put you on the beach, so that you feel good." You know, oh look, you're living by the beach.
So I think whenever I
That's why they do it.
Well, like it's
Every
yeah,
time I see a homeless guy, I'm
like
you know,
dude,
like, I need to
homeless
be the beach.
homeless people always go to the beach because like I think it's like a mindset thing to where they're like, yep, well
Homeless is
I'm
just a
doing good if I'm
mindset.
living next to the beach. You know what I'm saying?
You got beachfront property.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know, man.
The homeless problem, you know, like in California is outrageous. Like comparing to New York and everything.
Oh no, I'm New York. New York, I've been to New York. That shit is down bad.
Oh yeah, because you know the
like
people
big
always
city.
complain about the homeless problem here in California, and I was thinking like, okay, what about New York, Florida? You know, like around those areas.
Yeah.
And also, they also say it's the blue state's fault that we have a homeless problem and everything. If you realize that
Yeah.
every blue state has like a lot of homeless people and shit like that, people say that. You know, I'm not the one saying it, but people say that, and I hear that every single time I walk outside. So, if anybody has an opinion on that, you know, what do you think about that? Do you think it's just only blue states, or do you think, you know, it's everywhere?
I can give personal experience on that. I used to work for Dripmore, which was I would travel around the country and sell vape juice. And I went to Texas, Tennessee, Indiana. Well, I lived in Indiana for like, I think like 8 months or something. All those are like red states, right? I would go to every major city every single time. I'd stay there for about a week. Okay, the homeless population was nowhere near how LA is, or even New York. Nowhere near. Like they looked like presentable human beings, like sitting on the side of the road. It wasn't like, there were no tents everywhere. There was none of that. It was like, it would be like, oh yeah, those are the couple homeless people that hang out in the park. In LA, it's a completely different story. You know, you've got a whole block called Skid Row of just homeless people, of people that are doing drugs on the street, of people that California does not care about, that Gavin Newsom does not care about.
Awesome band name, Skid Row.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's like, I don't know. That's what sort of woke me up a little more, you know, when I was traveling. I was like, what is going on here? I was like, it was pleasant walking through Indianapolis, or walking through Dallas, Texas, or walking through Nashville.
But when you're talking about specifically Gavin Newsom, didn't Skid Row still exist as like an area of homelessness under Schwarzenegger, who was a Republican?
It did. Yeah,
It wasn't
existed
as bad as
longer
it
than
was.
that. Yeah, it wasn't.
It's been a place for a while.
Under Gavin Newsom, I think Skid Row has doubled, and all the more businesses have closed. Especially if you go to Venice Beach, dude, it made me sad because I proposed to my girlfriend that day, and she, I was gonna bring her to Venice Beach. She'd never been to Venice Beach, and I was like, "That's my favorite fucking beach." You know, it's a great place. It's a fun place. You know, there's like vendors and food and people, you know, doing.
Shot by Can't Joe.
Yeah. It was like back in the day. It was like homeless people would like, they'd actually like dance or like sing or like give speeches or something for money. You know, it wasn't like people peddling for it or like, give me money for my heroin addiction. You know what I'm saying? Like
they were there to entertain us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and we would give them money, you know, and like because they were entertaining. They were actually,
Venice Beach
but they
used to
were
be a place
they were
where you could
actually.
go there and play
When
basketball
did you
with
go to
some
Venice
kids.
Beach last?
What?
When did you go to Venice Beach last?
September 10th.
Oh, it's because of the pandemic. I'm pretty sure all those people would still be there if it wasn't a pandemic.
No, it wasn't like it. No, it was because of the riots, dude. The riot, they broke the windows. They fucked up the people. People had to foreclose their businesses. That doesn't just happen because of the virus, because the government has put stimuluses and stuff down for businesses specifically, especially businesses that are going under for the coronavirus, you know? So So how it was now, I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. We saw a needle on the beach.
So I heard a lot of good things about Joe Biden. I heard a lot of things about Trump,
About Venice.
like Venice Beach. So Justin and Riley, whoever can jump in. Joe Biden. Why is he a good guy? What can he offer? If he's president, what is he going to do?
I think that Joe Biden is not a good guy. I think he offers very little, and as president, I think he will do absolutely nothing. But I think that it's a better choice than Donald Trump.
Why? But why?
Because I just don't.
If you think he's going to take no action,
Look at what
and he's not going
look
to
at the
help
state
anyone.
that the country is in. Like,
I know.
I don't like being like. I don't like just. I hate the culture in this country of like going on to like just seeing other people like just do stuff makes me mad. Like we're so divided. Like,
And you think that
like.
Joe Biden becoming president is going to fix the division?
I don't think he'll fix it. I think tensions will
He's
ease.
going to heal it.
Really?
I think
You
tensions will ease,
you
and then
think
we
that
can start to rebuild the
Joe
country.
Biden
You
will be a
think that the
mom.
hundreds of
I
thousands
don't think
of
Joe
Trump
Biden-
supporters are going to just let it go, just like Antifa did when they destroyed almost every major city when Trump won?
They destroyed
Every
almost
major
every
city.
major
Yeah.
city. It's a bit of an exaggeration.
Dude, look up 2016 election riots. New York was destroyed. Houston was destroyed. LA
New York
was
is
destroyed.
stolen.
We can go to these places.
Seriously.
I understand that, but they were decimated. They were
No,
destroyed.
Dude, no,
dude, I went to New York like a year after
Okay.
the election. There was not like a Moab.
They were
Exactly.
okay, but they were
Seriously.
breaking windows. They were assaulting people. They were assaulting police
This is
officers.
normal New York,
They were
baby.
lighting
It wasn't
shit on
like
fire.
every
It wasn't.
building.
It was New York, Houston. It was almost every major city.
How many
Almost-
incidents of broken windows? Probably like 4 like broken
Would you
windows
say it
per
was like?
city.
What would you say
It
it was?
wasn't that
It was
much.
not
Bro,
decimated.
are you kidding me right now?
No.
People were throwing bricks through Apple stores.
You know,
People
I've
were
seen the
throwing
videos. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Ah, man, that's
Okay,
cool.
they were
You know.
breaking.
How many Apple
small
stores are
businesses.
Apple's got the money to
There's
fix it, you know
probably
what I
like
mean?
3 Apple stores total in New York City.
Bro, oh my! That's not the only thing
They're
they
targeting
fucking
the
broke.
I know what you're saying, but I'm
Dude.
saying like it probably was not that much.
They were looting.
Okay, if you look at the stats
were
of like
waving
vandalism,
the Antifa flag,
if
which
you
is a
look up the
domestic
crime
terrorist
statistics
organization.
of vandalism in New York City compared to that election year compared to any other year, I think it'll be roughly the exact same.
Okay. Oh, you want
Yes.
to look that up?
All right.
Actually,
You wanna look that up?
as of this year, if Trump does win, I'm not predicting it or saying like he is going to win, ladies and gentlemen, but if he does win, do you think the same thing will happen, but worse?
Yeah. You don't see Trump supporters doing that, okay? People will go out, hundreds of people will go out waving Trump flags and stuff, not a single window's broken. Not a single trash can's lit on fire. Not a single cop is attacked.
Yes.
Okay? And if Trump wins again, you know, if Trump wins again, then he can deal with it swiftly once those riots start happening because they're going to start going for the suburbs. That's when the American people can take it into their own hands once they start going into the suburbs because we have our Second Amendment rights. We have the right to protect our homes, and we have castle doctrine in almost every state. You know, if those swarms of people start coming down, suburbs. Best believe I'm going to start shooting so that they're not down destroying my goddamn Prius, you know?
If you vote for Trump, you're racist. Basically, that's what people say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's not true. I have a lot of black friends that are voting for Trump. I have Hispanic, Mexican, Asian people. You know, my
You're
friends.
Hispanic, you know?
Yes. I'm Hispanic.
Lenny, you're an Uncle Tom.
Trump's a racist. Biden's a racist. It's like a tug of war between these two old men, I swear.
Tug of war with the poor black community. I don't mean poor monetarily, I mean poor as in it's bad that they're being torn apart by the racism of these two awful white men.
Oh my goodness, man.
See, the easy man to target is Trump. You know, what he's saying, like, oh, Trump said this about the Mexican. Trump said this about the blacks. Trump's not targeting the white people. Oh my God, you finished it. You finished it.
Jesus Christ. you know, I'm like, what do they make this out of? Like, I'm all done.
Triston, you think Trump's not a racist?
Yeah. If he was, he wouldn't have done so much for the black community. He hasn't done because he hasn't done anything extra for the white community.
Yeah, fuck them, you know.
What if he's doing that to appear not racist also?
Really, you think he's going to give 10 years of funding to historic black colleges and universities because he wants to show that he's not racist?
Yeah.
He wants to... Why?
Because after his term's up, what does he care? You know, it doesn't affect him.
Because he
it's not
can't.
part of his day to day.
Exactly. So why would he do 10 years instead of just 4?
And if he did 10, that would be illegal.
He did do 10. He did 10 years of funding.
Oh, I thought you meant like 10 years as a president.
No. He did 10 years of funding. If he didn't care, he would have said, No, I'll just give you 1 year of funding, because they came to him and said the Black Caucus came to him and the HCBUs went to him. I understand.
It sounds funny. It sounds funny.
But they came to him and said we have. They said we have to come every single year to get funding. Can we get some more this year? And Trump was like, what the hell? No, I'm gonna give you 10 years. I'm gonna do that for you.
Up the ante.
Okay. Another thing. He focuses mainly on Black and Hispanic unemployment rates because from these past administrations they were hit the hardest, and so Trump was like, no, we're going to change that. Also, after all this rioting and stuff went on, Trump put in sweeping prison reform and police reform so that police officers can get better training in those situations. So that police officers will have to do a lot more training, at least 2 years of training, before they can be out on the street holding a gun with the ability to kill people. You know? So with that, also prison reform, he's gotten an insane amount. He's almost completely upended the 1994 crime bill because he has gotten so many people out of prison with his prison reform, as well as it's just that he's done so many things.
You know
Well,
what?
that just reminds me.
Hang on.
No.
You know why? You know why Trump wants. You know why I gave him 10 years? You know why I gave him 10 years?
Why?
Because he doesn't want to be the president. He wants to be the Führer.
Oh my God.
What do you think about people who say, like Trump is he's gonna do something to make it so like if he loses the election, he's gonna change the law so he gets to stay in office?
It's like Putin.
Literally can't do that.
I'm actually scared about that. I'm scared.
I
I'm
thought it was a great tweet. I was like, get out in Russia. They'd be like, I would have voted for Putin for a 5th time. Like a vote. That was a great tweet. It got 3 likes.
Yeah, I think Putin changed it 3 years ago to where he'll just
He's
stay in
been
power.
president since the fucking 90s.
But the people do love him. The people
They
in
want the
Russia,
Soviet Union back.
yeah, they just love a strong leader, and that's what Putin is. He's a strong guy. But Trump has been hard as hell on Russia too. He's helped Ukraine a lot.
For real, he has been hard as hell.
He's been hard as hell on Russia. And what's it called? You also got to realize we haven't had any new wars since Trump has been in office.
Have you heard any wars lately?
It's been a cultural war, spiritual war.
Exactly.
Enough?
That's
been a
and
civil war.
ourselves.
Yeah,
Do you think it's been a
war.
war between America versus America lately? I
Yeah.
think that's the
Yes.
only
Exactly.
possibility.
Exactly. And it's not, and people won't wake up until the stuff about the pedophilia comes out, because that's what I think will be the grand unifier. But there's people right now that are trying to. I just saw a Twitter thing the other day where it said that they were a preschool teacher, a scientist, and an pedophile. An pedophile is somebody that has sexual attraction to babies and toddlers.
That's fucking
gross.
gross.
Yeah.
You say
it's-
pedophile or peo?
Nepeophile.
What does nepeo mean?
Nepio.
The Latin root word. What does
I'm
that
pretty
mean?
sure it means like infant.
That's
It's
gross.
yeah, because that's that. And so all their Twitter posts was like, oh, watch, pedophilia is going to become a sexual orientation, and it's going to be accepted. It needs to be accepted in today's society, and they're going to start pushing for that because of the Hunter Biden laptop. Because they say the people that are releasing it are saying that there's video of him raping a 6-year-old Chinese girl.
Hunter Biden?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah.
Okay, if that comes out, here are my 2 fears. With Trump winning, I'm afraid of tensions with the other 2 superpowers rising. But with Biden winning, I'm afraid of society becoming very depraved.
Think about
It's
it.
like a
Think about it.
lose-lose
Okay.
situation.
Don't
No,
forget
no,
about
no.
Kamala Harris though,
Ugh.
because
I like Kamala.
She's
Really,
strong.
the lady that put thousands of black people in jail in California when she was
Look,
district
we need
attorney?
a strong male leader, and I think she can do it.
Male leader. We need a strong male leader. She also said she was black when her mom is Indian and her dad is white.
really,
Yeah.
Racist fluid,
We all
you know
make
what I mean?
mistakes, man. I'm just saying I like her. She seems cool.
Really,
She
dude.
smoked weed. No, she smoked weed in the 80s. Listen to Tupac.
When Tupac wasn't even a thing, dude. She said that listened to Tupac and Snoop in like the 70s and 80s.
She's cool for that,
before
man.
they
She
were-
never leave. No. She went sneaker shopping with Complex. Did Trump do that?
She's a fat liar because she put so many black people in jail
Don't remember
for
when to do
weed
it.
possession.
Don't
They
remember when to
she put them in jail for like 10 years for having like 2 grams of weed on them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
You can look up her history of being district attorney in California and San Francisco. It's not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
That black pastor that
pretty
came
odd.
out on social media, the other time.
Pretty odd.
The pastor called her "Lock a Brother Up."
Yeah.
I think that's her nickname for anybody, basically. Lock a brother up.
Yeah.
That's what one pastor said.
Well, one the episode of the Breakfast Club with Hillary, like, what's one thing you never leave the house without? It's like hot sauce.
Like it's, and then another thing. Okay, Joe Biden so helplessly panders to minorities. Did you guys see that one video where he went to this Latin American conference or whatever, and he was like, the first thing he did, he walks out, and he's like, I just have one thing to say. Plays fucking Despacito.
Joe Biden did that?
Yeah.
That's
In
crazy.
front of this just crowd of Mexican people.
They all
And
start
he was
cheering?
like, no, it was silent.
It was
dude.
silent.
And he was like dancing, he was like vibing with it. And he was like, yeah, and he was just silent. And he was like, oh, that's a pretty good song. I could never do what they do. Like, oh my God, dude.
He even said they.
Yeah. He's a geriatric with dementia, you know? And so he's obviously not making the best decisions out on the campaign trail, especially when he's like on camera.
My mom tried to show me this video because my parents were trying to make the case that Trump seems more decrepit than Biden. They showed me a video of this psychologist saying like yeah, you know how Biden, he can't like complete a sentence and he forgets things and he calls people the wrong names. He could just be he could just be like afraid of the stage. Trump, when he talks, he does this weird thing with his shoulder. Like, are you they showed that to me. Like, he's an actual psychologist. I'm like, are you serious? Like, it's ridiculous. These people, like, they'll believe anything. Like, if like it's like
Oh,
like,
yeah.
a YouTube video that they
Yeah,
see
a
or
YouTube
something.
video, or if like a random scientist says something,
This is
they're
your mom
like,
or your dad.
like actually, the sun is blue. You know, like they'll believe that shit if a scientist comes out and say it because they're a scientist. And like that's the thing is people nowadays they worship science. It's not even it's not even like a form of study anymore. It's like yeah, this is my God right here. I see Jesus as a lot more of a philosopher rather than the Son of God. Like a lot more like a Socrates figure.
Yeah,
you know, that got deified because his word and knowledge was so powerful, you know, because he promised a spiritual kingdom, and he was one of the first ones to really, really talk about a soul and heaven and yeah, there are great things after this, you
I don't
know.
believe in souls.
This dude doesn't believe in souls, bro. But I just see the way society's going right now, you know, and it's not like it just happened when Trump was in office. Like right after, do you guys remember Occupy Wall Street? Remember that shit?
Nah, I was more into Sonic at that time, so I wasn't really paying attention.
So Occupy Wall Street was when everybody didn't care about race, gender, color, nothing. They didn't care about anything. They just knew that these elites in Wall Street had to fucking hang. And so once that got shut down, you can look this up on Google Trends actually. So first there were articles about class, you know, class war, you know, first there were articles about that. You know, right after Occupy Wall Street, everything started going about race. Everything, and this was in 2012. Okay, this is when the racial stuff started. This is when everybody started focusing on race. Was 2012. This is when people started attacking white people for stuff. It's when people just started to divide themselves based on race, you know. And we never had that before that, you know, because when I was a kid, you know, in elementary school and stuff like that, I never thought like I'm a white person, so I'm different than everybody, you know. Like I wasn't raised that way, you know. I was raised, you know, everybody has a consciousness. Their skin doesn't matter, you know. We all have brains and skeletons and everything like that. It's just our skin colors are skin color, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, like when you have articles out there that are like, wow, how much whiteness is too much whiteness? oh wow, are the Emmys too white? Are the Grammys too white? Is sports too white? What do you mean? You look at the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement, they say that they are trained Marxists. And that's for those of you that don't know what a Marxist is. It's
So they're going to shoot, whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, they're like this is not just about police brutality and everything, because if you even look on the Black Lives Matter website, it talks about everything that has to do with Marxism. It talks about ending the family unit and having a lot more having children be raised by the community rather than your parents.
From what I've seen, though, a lot of the people who support Black Lives Matter are
Just normal people.
just normal people.
Exactly.
Like, the
No,
leaders. That's not an accurate way.
A lot of those people aren't breaking shit. A lot of those people aren't destroying cities. They're just people that support it. You know what I'm saying? Like the people that are out there, there were people like during these riots this year. There were people that were bussed out to major cities to go and destroy them. People filled with buses that weren't from that state to go out there. So that, for one, shows that it's not
So
organic.
do you think it was their intent to like start some kind of violent acts, like a riot or something like that?
Yeah.
Do you think that was their intent?
Oh yeah, no, it isn't. But it's the people who controls them and who controls them's intent.
But I
It's
think
the
most
that's
people
paying
don't
them.
believe in the organization. Most people believe in the sentiment. I went to a protest, and like the one in Norco, and I met all the people that I'm not there for some like larger organization. I'm there because like I just support that sentiment, and most of the people that like are
I
there,
know.
they just support that sentiment.
I have no problem with peaceful protests. That's what I'm saying. If they were just out there peacefully protesting, I would be perfectly fine with it. It's when they start shooting people and breaking windows and lighting cop cars on fire and looting is when I have a problem with it. And it's not just black people. It's I think I saw more white people in Antifa and BLM destroying shit than there were black people. I saw so many videos of black people saying stop because this is not us.
trying to get brownie points. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to say, "Oh, we're doing this for you. We're doing this for you." Fuck you guys. You guys are just making the black community look worse by doing that. Sports ball is all fixed.
Everybody who says that doesn't watch sports, and like the way they think about it, like that's.
I do watch sports. I have
Really?
watched sports.
Like,
I've absolutely.
you know what you're
watched
watching?
sports.
You, like-
Yes. Yeah, dude. And I've seen some. Did you notice how the Dodgers really fucked up at the end of the sixth game?
I don't watch baseball. I don't care.
Okay, well, it looked like they fucked up on purpose. Because
Maybe it's because it's the biggest moment of their lives, and people under that much pressure could make mistakes.
they could have won. They could have been world champions that day, but instead
The same thing happened with the Lakers. They could have closed out.
Exactly, but they made screw up so that they could have a seventh game, so that they get more views and money, so that both the MLB and the NBA, NFL does this shit too, so that they can get more views and more money.
The NBA Finals only win 6 games.
What do you mean?
They'd only win 6 games.
Okay,
It wasn't 7 games. And the ratings are terrible this year. They were awful.
yeah, the
It was
exactly. Yeah.
terrible.
Ratings are awful for
When
sports
I was a
right
kid,
now.
I always thought that I was different, but it wasn't because of my race. It was because him and Jacob always wore pants, and I only had shorts. But I wanted to dress like my friends, and so when my mom bought me a pair of pants, then I felt like I was one with
You
the
never
band.
had pants,
Well,
bro?
no, not until like I was in like the first grade. Is the first time I remember getting a pair of pants, and I was like, I know.
What would you wear in like December?
I
bro?
don't remember. I always felt left out because Drake and Josh wore pants. We kind of based our whole lives around Drake and Josh since I was like 9.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they never wore shorts on Drake and Josh. It was just,
No, Josh knew when he was fat.
yeah, I know, and that's why I felt like I felt like I was Josh. You know what I mean? So I never, no. I managed to prove myself though. I remember because I figured out on the Nickelodeon website when you take the Who Are You, Drake or Josh, it's literally just left or right, like one string. So I'll just pick all the Drake answers, then you're like, yeah, this I can get pants. Like,
Do you guys watch like the Joe Rogan Kanye
I watched
podcast?
like 50. He's like, I was telling Justin, he's like a little kid. Like,
No.
he's like paradigm shit. My favorite word, paradigm shit. He's like a child.
But did you listen to the way he talked? He talked
He's
extremely intelligent, dude. He was
like a child.
No, I disagree. I don't think
He's like,
Dude,
you know, all
he-
records I used to have like naughty jokes. Like, that's the shit he's
okay,
saying.
but you're
Yeah.
looking at certain
He
parts of
reminded me
it,
of
you know? From what he was talking
He
about,
sounded effortful. Like every sentence he said, it sounded like he was like putting so much effort. It didn't sound like
that's
a
how
natural
he talks
conversation.
everywhere. I know,
That's
but
what,
he
like-
talks for everything because
It
he
doesn't
has
strike me
so
as
much going
intelligent.
on in his mind.
I agree with that.
Did you watch that part where
Kanye-
he was talking about like the chant?
Kanye's a musical prodigy.
I agree. I think Kanye's a genius. Not like a genius like he's smart. I just think like like his brain is capable. He's capable of doing like things other people can't.
No,
Yeah,
I think,
but
I think intellectually,
musically-
he is very intelligent, but I think he's not the most articulate. He can't always
Exactly,
articulate that.
but he
properly.
explains that on there.
But
is
I
that
want a good orator as president.
he says the reason I like go off in tangents is because my mind is going at so fast, that I remember he said I don't see it as a rant, I see it as like a symphony, it's like a symphony of ideas.
So that's what Kanye would say.
Yeah.
But no, he's like a symphony of ideas, and then he said there it's like imagine 100,000 people singing choir.
That was funny. He started singing. That was hilarious.
Funny.
Trump had certain policies and certain things that hit home with middle America and exactly. He was talking about government corruption because he's a businessman.
His solution
He
is
can't
not
be
become part of that
bribed.
government.
He's got money. He's got like $3 billion in the bank. Actually, his
I wonder how much money he's lost.
he has. It's like he went from 3.4 billion down to 3 billion.
It's like $300 million to run like a successful presidential campaign.
Yeah, and he did it all out of his pocket.
It's like Kobe Bryant's entire career earnings just to run one campaign.
I don't think I've heard once of the media talking about his funding for.
Who
his
watches
story.
the news though?
And news
Like,
ratings
my
have
parents.
fucking tanked, especially
The news is
CNN.
like.
CNN.
They
CNN
ran like a 2-week news story on how he drank a glass of water. No one wants to watch that, and nobody's gonna. You know what I mean?
Has any of you watched Cuomo during the coronavirus? He's like, I love you all. We need to protect each other. He's not a newsman. He's just like speaking to a camera, telling the American people that he loves them.
Bro, Chris Cuomo is a joke, bro.
It is Don Lemon and Cuomo are my two least favorite on CNN.
Oh yeah, Don Lemon, bro. He's like.
I think Cooper's all right.
They try to make him look bad by creating peace with North Korea and creating a peace deal between South Korea and North
Do you realize
Korea.
how many peace options we had over the 4 years of what he's been
Yeah,
doing?
look at Israel. Israel now has peace deals with 3 or 4 different countries. He would not have put in these peace deals because we did not need to be in those wars. If with all of the wars in the Middle East, with all of the wars in the Middle East, no, dude, no,
He's
no,
still
that's
talking.
important, bro.
My Israel
No,
thing.
the one that he said about Israel.
But all of the wars that we've been in have been to make us money and to and to protect Israel from being attacked. So now there's peace deals, okay, with Tehran, Iraq, all these different places are now have peace deals with Israel, and so now they can ship things to each other. They can go across the border. They've got peace deals now.
Peace in the Middle East.
Exactly, bro, and that's like what we need. We have not had any new wars. Okay, we don't even hear about ISIS anymore.
Think about it, ladies and gentlemen.
Seriously.
Do we hear about ISIS or any of the wars? What happened to ISIS?
Yeah, dude.
ISIS is now was.
Seriously, man, it's like the biggest thing now is China. China's one of our biggest threats right now, and it was never talked about in the past like 12 to 20 years.
How
China's
bad
not
they
been
are?
talked
They got McDonald's.
about. They're communists and they're a technocracy. They have cameras
They have social
everywhere
credit scores.
on every
The
single
Karate Kid.
on every single square inch of China is covered with a camera, and those cameras can detect your face, your name, your occupation, your address,
It's like Watchdogs.
your bank account. Yeah,
How much
dude,
RAM-
that's exactly.
How
what
much RAM does it take to like run that system? Now?
Bro, they've probably got
Like supercomputers. Yeah.
Lenny, do
Yeah.
you have I know it's very fun for the rides. Like, do you control what the little voice automated thing says, or does it just like do it automatically?
Well, we have both. See, what we can do is we can just press a certain button or turn this like a certain button, right? And it has an automated, voice.
Yeah.
thing.
But can you control like on a microphone or something like that? Like I say, happy birthday, something like that. Like, I don't know. I'm serious. Can you do that?
I don't think we could do it from our own voice or like control it
like
from
an
a microphone.
intercom.
Like like an intercom. We just turn a fucking button and it says ha ha ha. Yeah,
No, I was gonna say like I just think it'd be funny if like you had like Tucker Carlson's voice telling you you're gonna be going about 300 feet up in the air. What is it?
What is that?
300 feet.
But can you imagine if it was
300 black people.
Island is going red.
What states do you
Okay.
think are going to change from red compared to last year? Which states do you think are going to go from red to blue? From the 2016 election?
We go from red to blue or blue
Talk
to red?
about
No,
maps,
from
ladies and
red to
gentlemen.
blue. Like
Okay.
if Trump's thing has gone down. Hold on, let's see. 2016.
I see
Let's compare the
Florida,
maps from like 2016 to now. Like,
I
what do you
see-
think?
Florida going blue. I see Pennsylvania going blue. I see Wisconsin going blue. I see
Okay.
Michigan going blue.
Okay, how many of these red states do you think are going to go blue this year?
The only reason Trump won is because he got this right here. These 3 states, and Florida was in like the balance. But I don't see Pennsylvania
the
staying
only
red.
reason
Pennsylvania
he
is
won.
not staying red.
That's not the only reason he won, dude. He won Nebraska, Montana, North Carolina, and South Carolina. You really think that they're going to change from blue to red?
Okay.
I mean, from red to blue.
Which states did you say that he won?
He won, let's see.
Let's
He
talk
won
about me.
Wyoming, Idaho, Utah,
This
Arizona,
coffee's pretty good.
Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas.
I see all of
Oklahoma.
this. I see all of this staying red. Like the
Yep.
middle America, I see that
Okay,
staying red.
Virginia's going red this year
No, I see
because of
West-
Biden's.
I see
Biden's
Virginia
comments
going
on
blue.
fracking.
Virginia going. Oh yeah, you're right. Think about that.
Yeah, Biden said he's going to end fracking a bunch of times. So all of these states over here that rely on fracking for their economic infrastructure and jobs are not. They're 100% not going to.
Yeah.
Also, if you look at Google Trends, okay, Google Trends has this really cool thing where you can look up how much a certain word was looked up on Google over a certain time period. So if you look up Hunter Biden emails on Google Trends, the same time that blows up is also the same time people started searching for how can I change my vote.
How can I change my vote?
Like my early voting.
Because a lot of people have already voted.
Yeah, that's why I don't trust early voting because
True.
there's a lot of shit that's still that's happening just the week before the election.
Is it possible for them to change their vote though, or is once you mail it in?
Only
you're
in
done?
7 states. Only in 7 states you can change your vote.
Speaking of
I don't
voting,
even care.
Right.
Hold on.
speaking about voting, think about it. Go back 4 years ago. Do you think people cared about voting like we do today?
No.
Have
I
you
think
seen
a lot
commercials?
It's become like a
voting.
fad to vote. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, there was not as many like I'm seeing YouTube ads,
Yes.
telling me to vote.
Well, my primary issue with like one of the things, like it's mostly like celebrities and stuff like that when they're doing like because they're all like fake liberals anyways. They're probably gonna vote for Trump, but anyways, like they're always saying like, "Oh, get out there and
No, they're
vote."
not fake
They get-
liberals. Well, they're paid to be liberals.
I think they're
Whatever,
paid.
like-
I don't know what to say.
But there are other actors in Hollywood that have come out as conservative, and then were
coming out the
were
closet.
banned from Hollywood. Or like
What I'm saying, though,
blacklisted
like,
from
what I'm
Hollywood.
saying is like they're always saying like, oh, like everything's like vote now, but like they're never like what they actually mean is vote like the way I'm gonna vote. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? But like I don't get why they don't just come out and say that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like just somebody saying vote could mean like vote for Trump. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, exactly. But that's
another thing.
that's what all the ads imply almost. It's like make sure you get out and vote.
yeah.
Make sure you get out and vote. Okay, I'm gonna vote for Trump.
No, that's what happened because literally that's what my friends are posting and everything and shit like that. People are posting about that, saying go out and vote. I say, okay, I'm gonna vote for Trump. No, you can't do that. But you told me to go out and vote though.
Oh my
This is the most recent polls. It has Biden winning Wisconsin, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Florida. All
Yeah,
the states
dude.
I just said.
Hey, remember Hillary's polls? Remember they had her at a
It wasn't-
99% chance of winning
Yeah, but it was still
the
a pretty
day
close.
before the election.
But those polls still had Trump winning Florida.
No, they didn't.
It's for the Russian man.
Hillary
Because of Russia,
Hillary
that's it.
won almost all.
Most of Russia's attacks were on Europe.
What they were saying in the polls, they were saying that Hillary was going to win almost every state because they felt so strongly about Hillary winning. They never thought she would lose.
The polls just changed. He also has North Carolina.
Dude,
he just
I'm telling you,
Biden
dude,
Biden
dude,
just
dude,
took back North
At
Carolina.
the end of the day,
dude,
Joe
you
Biden
can't-
is just a cool
you
guy.
can't, you
know what I
can't
mean?
trust these
You wear
polls.
sunglasses.
For one,
What else?
listen. Have you ever been asked to do one of these polls?
I'm 17.
Lenny, have you ever been asked to do one of these polls?
No.
Riley, have you ever been asked to do
Even
one
if
of
I
these
would, I
polls?
wouldn't participate.
Okay, so how do we know that they're doing it all equally if they're not asking everyone? They're asking maybe a couple hundred people. Like 100 people. Like, who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? They're picking and choosing. Okay, that's you can't even after 2016, seeing the polls, they had Hillary. The whole time that the election was coming up, they were saying Hillary was going to win. and they were saying, look at what the polls show. The polls show this. Oh, she's going to win this. She's going to win.
Oh,
Hey, listen. Hawaii has been blue its whole time, right? It's been
Hawaii has
extremely
4
blue.
electoral votes.
I know, but
Hawaii
still,
is not a
but
battle.
hey,
Shit, man, I've been to Hawaii. That shit's
no.
green.
But I'm talking about the mindset of people. Okay, the mindset of people is changing. Okay, Hawaii has always voted blue. Okay, if you look up Hawaii Trump rallies, there are insane amounts of people.
He does rallies at Hawaii?
No. Like it's them. It's the people of Hawaii going out in parades and holding Trump flags and holding.
I can definitely see Trump winning. Like that's not what I'm saying. I just think like the way for this election, a lot of battleground states. This is just like their year that people are predicting they're gonna. A lot of blue states that are primarily blue are going to be turning red in the future. I just think the way things are right now, I see Pennsylvania going blue. I see Wisconsin going blue. Minnesota going blue. Florida going blue. Texas might even go blue.
Nah,
That's a big if. That's a big if. That is a
I
big
read
if.
something about that. I read something about that, but it was on Twitter, so I immediately disregarded it.
Dallas and
You're
Austin
stupid,
are both very,
bro.
very. Houston, not so much, but Dallas and Austin are.
You got to
very,
realize
very
that
liberal
all these
cities.
polls are coming out from the mainstream media, right?
Yeah,
Mainstream media has done so much.
they've been right
to
before
lie
though.
about
Their polling predictions in like
9/11.
past elections. They
because all
When
of those
that
past
happened, they got
elections
right
were
on
extremely controlled by politicians.
All right, well, I can't argue
And
with
by
that,
people
I
that
guess.
controlled those politicians. But when Trump came in, those people that controlled the news sites were like, no, you're going to show that Hillary's winning. Because that would want to push people to either not vote for Trump or vote for Hillary because, she's going to win anyway. But that's not what happened. That's what they thought was
I have a
gonna
theory that the only reason Trump won in the first place is because everyone thought that
Hillary's
Hillary's going to win. It's like,
so
vote
why
for
even
Trump.
vote? That's why I think personally, if the mainstream media really wanted to push, like if they really wanted to get Biden in office, I'm not saying they're not liberal as fuck, but I'm saying if I could do their job better than them, because what I would do is I would put Joe Biden at like 10% in the polls. That way everybody would feel like they have to get out and vote. You know what I mean? So I think them putting Biden at an advantage makes people go, oh, he's already going to win anyway, so why would I vote?
no, but that goes both ways. Okay, so it goes both ways, and if they did do it lower, then that would get more people to go out and vote. That's what's happening with Trump. You know, a lot more people.
That's what Trump
wants.
wants. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think that's why he won.
Not the sole reason, but it's a factor.
One of the factors is because so many of the people that supported him was like, yes, we have to go and vote. You know, but I want to show you the county map. Okay, 2016
The
election
county map is very alarming, but it's
by
2016.
county.
Like,
I
4
know,
years
I know.
ago.
But like I'm saying, do you really think Trump's support has gone down over the past 4 years?
I think it's gone down in some areas and it's risen in some areas.
So it all kind of evens out.
It's risen in California. And that's the bluest
I just
state
don't
in the
think it
whole
has risen
country.
enough.
Look at my dad. You know, he voted for Trump in 2016 election.
I think the counting for California, the way California is a shit state. The counties,
I know.
it's just going to be San Francisco, like Los Angeles County, Orange County. Those are the only counties that matter.
But
So,
they
like,
make up like everything.
exactly. So everything
I
surrounding,
understand that.
if everything surrounding those counties is red, if those 3 counties are still blue, California
No,
might still go blue.
No, it'd go red. If all those counties, I know for a
I'm
fact,
being like hyperbolic.
Riverside County
I don't mean
went
like
red.
every.
I know for a fact Riverside County went red, Orange County went red.
Yeah, actually, I went to Riverside County the other day, and literally every, not every house, but like literally, if you just turn the block a bit, go down the blocks,
Mhm.
I see Trump flags. I see a Trump 2020 whatever sign in the front yard.
Just don't see it. I do not see it.
Go to Riverside.
Uh,
I'm telling
Like
you.
I've been there and I've seen that. But I don't know if anybody else seen it. And also like Orange County, I've
Look
seen
at
like
this.
people in Newport Beach, like raising the flags. And
Do you really think his support has gone down?
show the camera? Let's see what
Look
happens.
at this.
In Texas for sure.
Look at
In the
this.
southern
Yeah,
states for
yeah.
sure.
How?
That's
How?
That's what I think.
Really? When he's done so much for the oil industry, when he's done so much for just the car industry, the automobile industry, bringing jobs back to Texas, back to Oklahoma, back to all of these southern states. He's bringing these jobs back from Mexico, from China, from all these places. I do not see it at all. I do not see how, even because I follow both sides, I study both sides, right? And all I see with Joe Biden is there's so many people that are like I don't want to vote for Joe Biden, but I'm going to do it because he's blue. That's not
I would agree with that.
support
But
for Joe
people
Biden.
aren't supporting Biden; they're settling for Biden. The people that like
Exactly.
Trump fucking love Trump. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't know why the
yes.
DNC thought that that's what they had to do. I think if someone like Bernie was like the nominee, or I really liked Amy Klobuchar. She was cool. I like Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard should have got it.
She was good.
Tulsi Gabbard would have been a hard fight against.
I think she could have rallied a really strong campaign.
Yeah,
No,
her background,
I always
especially because she was a minority woman.
She's a minority woman who served.
Yeah, dude, she was in the military.
That's a really
bro.
good story. Oh, you're saying really?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm gonna say like, I think primarily the reason why Trump like kicks ass in debates isn't because I think he's a good like orator and knows what he's talking about. It's just because he knows how to like. I think he knows how to properly talk over somebody else, and that's what I think that these people who are voting for him want. They want the appearance of him winning. Like as far as the actual factuals that they're talking about, I don't really think he's winning that debate. But I think like what the DNC needs to do is they need to elect someone who like can go toe to toe with him on that kind of format. Because that's the only way they're going to be able to.
Now they can't.
There's
literally no way. Yeah. So listen. So with the debate. Okay, the first debate, he was allowed to talk over Joe Biden, right? He was allowed to do that, and it
worked
sucked,
against
right?
him.
It sucked ass. Everybody was like, okay.
Joe Biden's still a fucking idiot.
Everybody was like, okay, it's half and half the first debate. But the second debate, when they cut off mics and when Trump stopped himself, he would stop himself when it was his time, you know. That he did so much better than Joe Biden on that second debate.
I didn't even watch it,
dude. That second, he killed the second debate, dude. And like Joe Biden was like, dude, one time, so Joe Biden said he has never like condemned this or something like that, and then Trump was like, no, I condemn it fully right now, and Joe Biden was like he was so surprised that he said it, and especially when Joe Biden was like, I have never said I've been against fracking. And then Trump was like, you said it, like you're on video saying it. And then Biden was like, oh, put it on your website then. The next day, Trump plays it at his rally.
Well, I think Biden was surprised because he remember where he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Biden's a geriatric fucking dementia patient.
You said that word twice now. What does that word?
Just an old person. Yeah, just a really old person. Yeah. Well, I mean, like they're both geriatrics, but Trump is a lot more fit, a lot more
sharp.
He's a lot more mentally fit, and it's because Trump doesn't do any drugs. He doesn't even drink. Like his older brother died from alcoholism.
I think he's on some sort of amphetamines, like prescribed amphetamines.
No, he
for a man that age and his health, he's.
What do you mean his health? He's in perfect health.
He eats a lot of McDonald's.
He has a perfect immune system.
Okay, Donald Trump his body is horrendous. He's always been a chubby guy.
Have you seen him shirtless around?
I'm sure.
Why are you guys looking this up? Why are you guys looking this shit up, man?
I'm not looking at. Look at Trump.
I know. I'm not saying. No, Trump is a fat guy.
I'm sure Trump is a big guy. He's a big guy. I'm pretty sure.
Obese.
Yeah, but like
my dad's fatter. My dad's fatter than him. Neither is Joe Biden.
I know. That's not what I'm saying. Trump is like a normal American.
Yeah.
And it makes him out people like he's perfect. He's the pinnacle of health.
Yeah, I don't think he's the pinnacle of health. Yeah, I don't think that at all. But
he's just a normal guy.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
basketball.
I'm sure that he has some sort of I don't know, heart problems or something like that.
But he's an old man.
But when presidents go to the presidential doctor, like he went to both the doctor and the psychologist to have himself tested. Okay, and the doctor said he was in perfect health. The doctor and the psychologist said he was both fit mentally because his IQ is extremely high. Like they tested his IQ, and it's like. I don't remember.
I don't get the people like
155 or something.
I don't get the people who think he's dumb. He's not dumb.
He's not a dumb
dude.
guy.
Yeah, if he was dumb, he wouldn't have won. That's another thing. Is like people are like, oh, he's just trying to enrich his pockets while he's the president. No, his value has gone down. His monetary value has gone down. He's given up his reputation. He's given up his lavish lifestyle. He could have just sat up in Trump Tower and just fucking lived the rest of his life
seriously,
like that.
Thank God he would have done that.
When Val was like, "Oh, the reason he wants to be president is so he can put his face on the $100 bill." It's such a stupid thing.
They were dumb.
Does she know how money works?
They were dumb.
The president. They don't just ask the president who do you want to be on this bill. That's not how it works.
It's retroactive.
Just from what I've seen, I never thought I would see parades of Trump supporters. Even in 2020, I never thought that I would see parades of Trump supporters in California.
That's what I thought.
There were some in Norco, there's some in Riverside, there's some in Northern California, even in LA. In LA, there were some. Orange County.
Especially South LA, dude.
Yeah,
I was shocked about
So-
that.
I saw this girl the other day on Twitter. She was complaining about like what's going on in Norco, like the horrible racism in Norco. And that's probably true, but here's the thing: it's like
There's no
that's
racism
the-
in
no.
There's no racism anywhere. It's nowhere.
Okay, no.
Okay, no,
This is what I'm saying
racism
about-
definitely exists in positions of power. Positions of power,
I'm
racism
talking
exists.
about- okay,
And
But amongst the
talking about-
people, there is no like
I'm talking about
hidden
like
like
Norco,
Nazi like regime
in
amongst the
Norco,
American
in Norco,
people.
like when she's complaining about like horrible racism in Norco, it's like that really is a scenario where it's like just leave. Like everything you're talking about is contained within like a 5-mile radius. You can go across the street.
They
It's
think
not
that
fucking like
that people with cowboy boots and cowboy hats and ride horses.
I'm not
are
even
racist.
saying that. I'm just saying like everything she's complaining about is happening on like one street and it's Hamilton.
What you would call like quote unquote white culture, like like cowboy boots, like that, like what they live in like Norco. Like I don't know white culture is the term. But
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That was stolen.
They assume things like that, like anything like associated with that is automatically seen as racist.
Dude, I think cowboys were like the least racist white people.
Yeah, I don't
back
think they
then.
cared. Like,
You guys played Red Dead Redemption.
Well, I don't think they're
They
like-
were all united against Native Americans.
yeah, I was about to say, I don't think they're like Native Americans.
Oh, yeah.
They all hated
That's
Native
true.
Americans.
That's true.
The black people hated
But yeah, we
everybody.
came together.
Yeah,
The
we all
common
yeah,
man.
cut this out, please.
This part's-
Definitely cut this
Don't
part
cut
out.
this out.